Tonight, Minnesota is up for grabs. Dueling presidential campaign visits are set for this week in the Gopher State. We take a look at how the impact it could have on the race for the White House. And protests in Duluth. The Black Lives Matter demonstration hits downtown. The physical turn it took. And what researchers are hoping to learn by examining human waste and what it could say about potential coronavirus outbreaks.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Mack. Kristen is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. The battle for Minnesota is on. Both Joe Biden and President Donald Trump will be visiting Minnesota on Friday to promote their campaigns. While Biden's rally location is to be determined still, President Trump will be holding his in Bemidji. Since the announcement, many have questioned why the president has chosen Bemidji. CBS 3's John Cardinelli spoke with representatives from both parties to figure out what each candidate is trying to gain out of their visit.
On Friday, President Donald Trump will visit Bemidji for a campaign rally. It's a decision many in the Northland have been wondering about.
It's just one of those interesting places. I know they do some manufacturing there, and it's also a town in which no president has ever visited before. So there's a novelty for that as well. Look, I think it's important for this campaign to get all over the state.
Important as Minnesota is considered a battleground state this election.
Minnesota is going to play a very vital role in the presidential election this time around. You'll remember Donald Trump only lost the state by 1.5%.
A small loss, something the president hopes to capitalize on this time around by capturing the vote of rural areas and industry-laden cities in the north.
The president is going to go there and remind everybody just how great this economy was before the China virus came in here and how he rebuilt the economy once and how he's doing it again.
We faced one of the most difficult moments in our history, in my view.
On Friday, Joe Biden is also traveling to Minnesota, hoping to spread his message to voters.
Excited to have Joe Biden in Minnesota to promote early voting and promote the ways that his presidency would work for Minnesotans.
While Joe Biden is leading plenty of polls in Minnesota, Democrats say it's not over, as the presidential hopeful will use the visit to secure votes.
Even if the polls are looking good, we still need to do our work really hard, take nothing for granted.
It's not just Minnesota that's important, as there are more than a dozen battleground states up for grabs.
We expect to do really well in the states that we won in 2016, and of course, maybe have a few pickups and a few surprises like the great state of Minnesota.
Meanwhile, Minnesota's governor is asking both presidential candidates to play by the state's pandemic rules when visiting this week. Today, Governor Tim Walz sent a letter to both President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden's campaigns. He asked them to make sure their rallies on Friday include social distancing, masks, and following the state's capacity rules. Duluth Superintendent John Magus responded to local parents tonight, saying he hears their frustration. The Duluth School Board read parents' comments aloud for more than an hour and a half tonight. Some are happy with the district's return to learn plan, but others want the district to get kids back in the classroom sooner. Magus didn't discuss changing the district's return to learn plan, but said he would reflect on parents' comments. And Dave's here for our first look at the weather. Dave, that chill seems to be already moving into the region.
Yeah, today's warm-up's fairly short-lived. Didn't get quite as warm as expected, but still nice enough. But despite the niceness, despite the warmth, still fall is creeping in. Here's a picture coming from some kid named Tony Matt. I've heard of him someplace. Oh, that's you, Tony. Tony got this gorgeous picture of leaves turning, and that's just going to become all the more common here as time goes on. But speaking of the short term, what we're getting tonight, like Tony pointed out, is a bit of a cool down as a cold front cuts through today's warm spell. And so for the next couple of days, instead of warmer than normal, we shall, of course, be cooler than normal. So our Wednesday day planner looks like this. High pressure settling in to drive that cold front. We'll clear up the sky, clear to partly cloudy, but cool down our temps. Maybe not right away in the morning. 50's not bad, but the daytime finish around 63 is cooler than normal, and it'll get even cooler than that a couple days afterwards. But I do have a warm-up in sight, and we'll talk about all of this in more detail in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. New at 10, a group took to the streets in downtown Duluth tonight protesting racial injustice, and it turned physical at one point. This was the scene near the Clayton Jackson McGee Memorial earlier this evening. About 50 people gathered there protesting recent police violence against black people and other social issues. At one point, the group started marching towards First Street towards City Hall. The protesters met with a group of Trump supporters, and the two groups squared off, shouting at each other. It did turn physical, with some punches being thrown before police showed up and calmed the tensions. It's unclear what led up to that altercation, but later in the night, the two groups met again at the CJM Memorial, where some terse verbal altercations continued. No word if any citations were issued, but our crew that was on scene said at least one person was arrested. Switching gears to the ongoing pandemic, researchers and scientists in Madison are sifting through human waste. What they're finding just might help predict where a coronavirus outbreak will be. Jamie Perez shows us how it works.
Well, the coronavirus has been the #1 story for all of 2020, and this next one is about to be a close #2.
Most of us don't really care where the stuff you flush goes, but researchers with the Wisconsin State Hygiene Lab are making it their duty to collect samples of it.
Science acts in weird ways sometimes.
Martin Schaefer is a senior scientist who leads a team collecting wastewater samples from 67 locations around the state. They're looking for the genetic material that causes COVID-19.
We know that the virus can appear in wastewater before there's any illness appears in the community. So it acts as kind of an early warning.
He said this testing goes hand in hand with what contact tracers and COVID tests already do.
We can't really practically test 300,000 people twice a week, but we can get an overall assessment of the virus levels in the community by testing the wastewater.
This sample on the UW-Madison campus collects students' waste every hour from about 8 dorms. Researchers come to this spot on Elm Drive twice a week to collect more.
You're excreting it, or you're shedding it into your fecal matter, and you poop, and it goes into the wastewater, and it gets mixed up with everybody else's and winds up at the wastewater treatment facility. And at that point, you have a well-mixed sample that represents the whole community.
It's then taken to the state lab, where researchers take about 2 days to study the samples and report back what they found. The team knows the job may literally stink, but it's helping health leaders decide where to flush resources and attention.
It's a really interesting project, and it serves the public health goals of the state really well.
The researchers say they will be doing this at least through next June or until we get a handle on COVID-19. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's governor is considering extending the statewide mask mandate. Democratic Governor Tony Evers did not commit to the move, but said his administration was looking at the issue. Evers noted the Department of Health reported a single-day record number of confirmed cases for the state on Sunday. The governor encourages people to wear a mask whenever they're out in public and continue to follow safety protocols.
COVID-19 pandemic is still very much raging on in our communities, and we need to take every precaution, perhaps now more than ever, to keep our families, neighbors, and communities safe.
The governor initially issued the mask mandate on July 30th. It's slated to expire at the end of the month. Evers said he has not reached out to legislative leaders recently to try to enact legislation to manage the pandemic. According to civil engineers, Wisconsin's infrastructure could use some much-needed improvements. This morning, the Wisconsin section of the American Society of Civil Engineers unveiled its 2020 report card. The committee gave the state an overall grade of C for its current infrastructure. Grades were handed out in 13 other subcategories, ranging from roads to hazardous waste. When asked about what needs could help Northwest Wisconsin, one expert believes it's our roads and transit.
So some of the older infrastructure pieces, particularly water systems, are starting to get to those end-of-life, design life points. So I think it's incumbent upon the state and local infrastructure owners to look at their systems and develop their own priorities.
To learn more about the report card and see the full grades, you can head on over to our website. Moving along to the Iron Range, investigators ruled a recent house fire in Virginia as arson. It started on Sunday morning. Virginia's fire marshal says someone intentionally set the fire in the vacant home. Nobody was hurt, thankfully. Anyone with information is asked to call the arson hotline on your screen. Now to an update on a story we first reported yesterday about a missing plane south of the Twin Cities. Today, divers recovered the bodies of 2 of the 3 people who were on a plane that crashed. The small single-engine Cessna disappeared shortly after taking off from Fleming Field on Sunday afternoon. Authorities say much of the wreckage is at the bottom of a water-filled quarry on Gray Cloud Island. The Washington County Sheriff says the recovery has been difficult because the water is up to 200 feet deep in some places. The names of the victims have not been released. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, how a Duluth girl is using her passion to help keep officers safe in the area.
Today's record low is 27 from 1964. Today we had warmer than normal temperatures, 73 the top temp in Duluth. But it will start to cool over the next couple of days, and the 20s won't be out of the question. We'll talk about for how long coming up after the break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
In the race for a vaccine, the finish line is approaching. Safety protocols in place, and the greatest economy the world has ever seen coming back to life. But Joe Biden wants to change that.
I would shut it down.
Why would we ever let Biden kill countless American businesses, jobs, and our economic future when President Trump's great American comeback is now underway?
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
What are you thinking?
Thinking about burger, fries, and some pie.
You know it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, then bring the pie first.
It's back and better than ever. Perkins Burger, Fries, and Pie Combo. For a limited time, enjoy any burger, fries, and a slice of pie. And always served safely. Whether you dine in, order online, or get it to go. Order now at perkinstogo.com.
At Super One Foods, we go to great measures to deliver you with top quality meat every day. Try our Black Angus 80% lean ground chuck for only $2.49 a pound, and get Smithfield boneless pork sirloin steak or roast for just $1.66 a pound. Plus, we provide the best of the best in fresh produce. Get Sweet Tango apples for just $1.66 a pound, and 1 pound of California fresh strawberries for just $1.99. Through all that we do, we've got you in mind. Super One Foods, serving you lower prices and better choices.
Let's face it, it's been a tough year. But here in Minnesota, we're pretty tough too. We help each other, we work together, and we solve problems. That's what I try to do every day as your congressman. Like helping to save pensions for our union workers, standing with snowplow drivers during their strike, and fighting to lower health care costs for seniors and our most vulnerable. I'm Pete Stauber, and I approve this message, because together, we're fighting for our way of life.
Because of this, we made Ford Super Duty the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower and best-in-class payload.
Rescue 614 en route.
Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with the terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS 3 Live at 5 on Live, local, CBS 3. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
So a small trough of lower pressure is trying to work by the area, and this morning it led with its warm front. So temperatures went up, maybe not as warm as we thought, but they did go up, and the clouds went up as well, but plenty of clouds over Lake Vermilion here from this picture from Peter Mack, but precious little rain came down, really just sprinkles here and there. We need more rain than that. Don't think we're going to get it. This low should be gone by tomorrow. Its cold front passes, takes our temperatures back down. Then higher pressure settling in, clears us up and cools us down for quite a bit. We may not get our next rain chance until Sunday or so. Here's what's going on right now at the airport in Duluth. 61 degrees is the current temp. 87% is the relative humidity. Northwest winds really only going 3 miles per hour. Could pick up a bit as the night goes on, and tomorrow will get fairly gusty. Air pressure, 1,013 millibars, is pretty normal, not too high, not too low, as a weak trough of lower pressure, at least in theory, works past our area. Then higher pressure definitely should take over tomorrow, so barometer readings will go higher. Current temperatures, some places still, these aren't current temperatures. I wanted one more look at the highs that we had today, since we were hoping we would crack 80, and as one of the few honest meteorologists in the world, perhaps, I'll point out when I was off. We got to 74 in the Upper Peninsula, 75 for Ashland, and 76 in Hayward. 77, Siren and Hinckley's about the best we did make. Mid-70s for a couple of towns here around the head of the lakes. And then up north where we thought it would be cooler, it was cooler, generally in the 60s. Now tomorrow, thanks to this cold front, our temperatures likely will be in the 60s in the southern part of our region and perhaps only the 50s up north. And then the day after that, to get towards the weekend, maybe 50s for everybody. But once we get through the weekend, 70s could return for a couple of days. But now we focus back to the here and now, and this is the current Doppler map, and you can see as that trough of lower pressure is continuing to track by, it is kicking up a couple of showers out there, so that's why I said precious little rain. At least we can say that there's some. There's not zero. We're getting just a little bit, but I think that chance fades away fairly rapidly. It's folks in the south that get the chance for better rains, of course. Here's the latest on Sally, Category 1 hurricane, affecting places like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. Looks like Louisiana's doing all right now. We have our fingers crossed for everybody down there. And for our region, what we get tomorrow is the low leaving and higher pressure taking over. And then that cool spell comes in for a little while before we go towards the warmer side. And all this should happen during the next 7 days. So here's the 7-day forecast tonight. In Minnesota, low temps inland, mid-40s, but mid-50s by the lake. Partly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy Wisconsin, Michigan as well. Low temps, lower 50s there. And then for tomorrow in Wisconsin and Michigan, a fairly sunny sky. High 60 to 66 is just a hair below normal for at least a few places. And in Minnesota, the range of 55 up north and inland to about 64 down south and inland. That straddles normal a little bit, but then temperatures tumble a bit for Thursday and Friday. In fact, 30s in the morning could lead to more frost for gardeners who still have something surviving in the ground. Then there's the moderation. Sunday, Monday's our next rain chance, Tony. 40% chance at best, but then it warms up. We get into the 70s for a couple of days.
Thanks, Dave. Some news we're just getting in tonight. Police have identified the officer involved in an officer-involved shooting in Duluth from over the weekend. Within the last half hour, the BCA identified Officer Tyler Liebfred as the cop who pulled the trigger. He's been placed on administrative leave. He's been with the Duluth Police Department for about 5 years. The person who was shot has been identified as 23-year-old Jared File of Duluth. The shooting happened near North 1st Avenue West and West 1st Street on Saturday night. Officers were responding to a physical domestic call. At some point, Liebfred fired his weapon, hitting File in the shoulder. File was taken to the hospital and later jail. He will not be charged, and we do have more details on this on our website. Ever since Taylor Gooch was 3 years old, she was wanted to be a Duluth police officer. Now the 9-year-old Duluth girl has started a special project, making sure officers stay safe while out on patrol. CBS 3's Ryan Campos spoke with Taylor about her reason behind this project and Duluth's police chief about why building relationships with kids is so important.
It's nice to help the police out and keep the community safe.
9-year-old Taylor Gooch is supporting the men and women in blue, protecting those she hopes to join one day.
My grandpa was a Marine, and I wanted to be a police officer ever since I was little, and now I really like helping the police out.
Helping the police out by giving them bracelets blessed by a priest at her old school, hoping this will make sure officers are safe while out on patrol.
I really like helping the police, and it's nice to do that. And I have a bracelet for every cop, and I have one on right now to help the police and keep them safe.
When she meets them out in the community, Gooch also asks officers to sign a special hat, which she says shows their connection will last a lifetime. Tuesday, Taylor had a special meeting with Duluth Police Chief Mike Tuskin. He says her project goes a long way.
We have to have relationships and want to have relationships with kids so that they have a level of trust and understanding in what we do. And it's a very important part of building relationships in our organization.
As for Taylor's mom, she couldn't be more proud of her daughter doing what she's so passionate about.
Let's follow your dreams. Let's make it happen. And by her doing what she's doing, by the bracelets going out in the community, you know, making her presence known that, hey, there are good supporters out here and we back you. I couldn't ask for a better child.
Taylor started this project 2 years ago when she was 7. She doesn't know exactly how many bracelets she's handed out, but her hat is completely covered in signatures. She hopes to keep handing out bracelets to all police departments throughout the Northland. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, we have the latest details on Hurricane Sally and when she's expected to make landfall.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ray. At Miners National Bank, we offer local originating, local processing, local closing, and local servicing. For your next mortgage, apply now. minersmortgage.com. Miners National Bank of Evelyn, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I've got one for you. See, UCare, health plan demystifiers and sleeve roller uppers.
UCare, health plan demystifiers and sleeve roller uppers.
Sounds so good when you say it. 96% of all providers accept UCare because they rock so hard.
96% of all providers accept UCare because they ride so hard. Can we pull over?
What's our tagline?
UCare people-powered health plan.
So good.
New Duluth Auto is the Duluth used car dealer. We have plenty of makes and models to choose from. Nissan, Honda, Toyota, and we even carry multiple options for our most popular vehicle, the Subaru Forester. Large cargo space, all-wheel drive, what's not to love? All of our vehicles are priced under $20,000. To make these deals even sweeter, there is a 1 to 5 year warranty included on all vehicles. Give us a call, stop by, or view our inventory online at newduluthauto.net. Because here at New Duluth Auto, we are your Duluth used car dealer.
If I'm your president, on day one, we'll implement the national strategy I've been laying out since March. We'll develop and deploy rapid tests with results available immediately. We'll make the medical supplies and protective equipment that our country needs. We'll make them here in America. We'll have a national mandate to wear masks, not as a burden, but as a patriotic duty to protect one another. In short, we'll do what we should have done from the very beginning. Our current president has failed in his most basic duty to the nation. He's failed to protect America. And my fellow Americans, that is unforgivable. As president, I'll make you a promise. I'll protect America. I will defend us from every attack, seen and unseen, always, without exception, every time. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Von Duluth Casino is hiring. Apply today.
Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
Tonight, Hurricane Sally is threatening to bring historic rains and life-threatening floods to the Gulf Coast. The Category 1 storm is expected to make landfall sometime tomorrow. Skylar Henry reports from Mississippi.
Some 10 million Americans along the Gulf Coast are bracing for the arrival of Hurricane Sally. From Louisiana to Florida, people are already feeling its effects.
I'm just not trying to go back over the bridge because the wind had my car shaking.
The storm stalled off the Alabama coast on Tuesday, slowing to just 2 miles an hour. With each passing hour, it grew larger and wetter. Sally is bringing a deluge to the southeastern U.S. As much as 2.5 feet of rain is expected east of Mobile, Alabama. The National Hurricane Center is warning of historic life-threatening flash flooding across the region.
Potentially record-setting rain and hurricane-force winds aren't the only concerns for officials here in Biloxi, Mississippi. The city also faces the threat of a 4-foot storm surge that could inundate some low-lying areas.
Thankfully, it appears that many people heeded this voluntary evacuation.
Dauphin Island, Alabama emptied out as Sally neared the coast.
We can't do anything about it. We can't get out, so.
By Tuesday evening, it was already too late for anyone in the storm's path. They're now hunkering down for what's shaping up to be a long and stormy night.
And Dave, our own meteorologist, says the remnants of Sally will be pushed into the Atlantic by the prevailing westerlies somewhere in the Carolinas around noon on Friday. Still to come in sports, could high school football and volleyball be returning this fall season? Kelly has the answer next.
Eye on Mining is brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Eveleth.
Imagine building your Range Regional Airport without the mining industry. Now, imagine air travel without mining. We couldn't imagine that either. Welcome to Range Regional Airport, serving and supporting the Iron Range.
Honey, what are you doing?
Carpet's getting a little long. Tripping hazard.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Who wants a brat?
Honey, just get in already.
It's okay to be a little overprotective.
Seriously?
After all, it's how we feel about our customers. Western National Insurance.
The power of technology is incredible, but it's nothing compared to the power of people. To all our MediaCom employees, we'd like to say thank you. Whether you're working from home, working extra hours, working on the front lines, or keeping things working behind the scenes, you've gone above and beyond to take care of our customers and keep our communities connected. Our network is powerful because you are powerful people.
Because of this, we made Ford Super Duty the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower and best-in-class payload.
Rescue 614 en route.
Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with the terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand.
We know it can be scary when you're injured in an accident.
We know the insurance company can be unfair.
We know that bills need to be paid.
But we also know what it takes to win.
We know what it takes to get our clients compensated.
And most importantly, we always fight to do the right thing for our community.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows. Nicolay knows injury law.
Nicolay Law, Duluth and Superior's award-winning injury, disability, and bankruptcy law firm.
Let's face it, it's been a tough year. But here in Minnesota, we're pretty tough too. We help each other, we work together, and we solve problems. That's what I try to do every day as your congressman. Like helping to save pensions for our union workers, standing with snowplow drivers during their strike, and fighting to lower health care costs for seniors and our most vulnerable. I'm Pete Stauber, and I approve this message because together, we're fighting for our way of life.
Imagine building your Range Regional Airport without the mining industry. Now, imagine air travel without mining. We couldn't imagine that either. Welcome to Range Regional Airport, serving and supporting the Iron Range.
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Back in August, we saw high school football and volleyball seasons in the state of Minnesota fall victim to COVID-19. The league deciding to push those sports back to the spring. Well, after a lot of pushback from athletes, from coaches, and parents alike, the league could be revisiting the conversation of starting the sports back up. Emphasis on could. The Star Tribune originally reported earlier today that the league board met today to discuss the various risks of restarting the two sports. They also reported that the league could be set to further the discussion this Friday. League media specialist John Malaya tweeted that no meeting has been formally called, but it certainly could happen. That's a big if. So back to the sports that are actually being played right now. The Duluth-Denfeld boys soccer team has been impressive this season. They have a roster packed with 12 seniors, carrying just one loss in their young season. A narrow one to their crosstown rival, Duluth East, at that. Another good test for the Hunters tonight against a strong Harmontown group over at Public School Stadium. Denfeld certainly rose to the occasion. A lot of urgency out of the Hunters in the first half. 22 minutes in, Keegan Chasty crosses up the keeper. He finished with a hat trick tonight. And just a few minutes later, Chasty sends a ball up for Simon Davidson. He had a hat trick in just the first half alone, including this one. And not to be overshadowed by all the scoring was Denfeld keeper Dimitri Regas, who was perfect on the night for the shutout in goal. A statement win for the Hunters, 8-0. They win over Hermantown. Shifting to the girls' ranks, it was the same matchup earlier today. Denfeld hosting Hermantown, several Hunters choosing to kneel for the national anthem. The Hawks put together some early threats, and 20 minutes in, they finally break through. Emma Herstad sticks with it and buries it off her right foot to make it 1-0 Hermantown. But a few minutes later, Denfeld has an answer. Bella Grogowski chips a great ball into the box for Cameron Hill. Anna Foldesi puts the finishing touch on it to tie the game. A tight finish, but Hermantown just barely takes it 3-2, the final. And the Chicago White Sox hosting the Twins tonight. Twins just 2 games back of them in the division. Top of the third, Twins down 1. Byron Buxton drills a pitch from Dane Dunning towards center. Chicago's Luis Robert cannot get to it. The ball takes a friendly bounce off the wall. Buxton hustles around the base path for the inside the park home run. Holy cow! He is fast, tying the game up at 1 apiece. I was just so excited. Unfortunately, the excitement did not last from there. White Sox build a lead and Twins go down 6-2. The final. He's so fast. Brewers and the Cardinals split their doubleheader yesterday. Game 3 today. Bottom of the first, Christian Yelich and Ryan Braun. That is a deadly duo. They both slammed back-to-back home runs early in the bottom of the first to put the Brewers up 2-1. And bottom of the fourth, Brewers just keep adding on against Jack Flaherty on the bump. Omar Narvaez is adding 9th with a 174 average, but this will help. He singles to center, 2-run score. It's 6-1 Brewers here, and they go on to get a few more. They win 18-3 the final. One of the most decorated UMD women's hockey players in history is now getting one of the highest honors in all of USA hockey. Jenny Potter, who still to this day is UMD's all-time leading scorer, will be inducted into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. The center out of Edina, Minnesota, remains one of the most decorated players in women's hockey, period. Her international career spanned 14 years and included 6 gold, 9 silver, and 1 bronze medal with Team USA. It also included 4 Winter Olympics, 10 World Championships, and 2 Four Nations Cups. Potter wore a Bulldog sweater for 3 years and was inducted into UMD's Hall of Fame in 2017. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Have our certified nurse midwives provide personal one-on-one support and guidance for your next pregnancy. Visit essentiahealth.org to learn more.
Slumberland's huge Labor Day sale ends Saturday. Get this stylish, comfy sectional for just $9.98 and get the storage ottoman free, or an incredible price on the Sealy Posturepedic Queen mattress. Plus, get free shipping with no minimum. The Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Long have our ancestors debated taco or quesadilla. Taco John's has found the answer. Both. Introducing the cheesy grilled chicken quesadilla taco. Get 2 for just $5. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
Numi Jewelers is a full-service jewelry store specializing in one-of-a-kind pieces and repairs. From a chain repair to a full custom piece, we'll get your jewelry looking new again. Stop in for a free repair estimate. Numi Jewelers, where true love is guaranteed.
1, 2, 3,
Right now, you can get $2,000 customer cash on a stylish new 2020 Toyota Camry or Camry Hybrid. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Tina Smith, and I approve this message because building a strong economy requires creating more opportunities for more people. By working together, that's why I passed a law with Republicans and Democrats to expand vocational and technical training in schools across Minnesota. And I'm working to create internships and apprenticeships in manufacturing, healthcare, and clean energy. Because not everyone goes to college, but everyone needs a good job to give them and their families good lives.
Donating plasma is an easy way to earn up to $400 a month as a new donor while saving lives. That's right. Every donation you make helps patients in need survive and thrive. Returning donors also see monthly bonus payouts and I Give rewards points. Go to cslplasma.com to learn more about plasma donation. CSL Plasma. Good for you, great for life.
Incredible savings on mattresses during the big Sealy sale now at Slumberland. Get a Sealy Queen mattress as low as $99 or a luxurious Sealy Posturepedic for $9.99 plus free shipping. The big Sealy sale at Slumberland.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, your fall fashion headquarters with new arrivals daily. Downtown Duluth.
Had so much news tonight, we don't have time for anything else but to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.